How is everybody doing today? Today we are continuing my review series for the Big Six horror franchises. If you don't know who the Big Six are, that is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, and Scream. Today we are talking about the OG Friday the 13th. Hit the intro.
Mr. Hot Take Show. Mr. Hot Take Show.
So, if you've watched any of my videos where I talk about Friday the 13th as a whole, you will understand that I do not care for this franchise overall. There are movies that I actually do enjoy in this franchise, and when we get to those, I will talk about those. But this first movie is not one of them. Now, I don't think that this franchise should be in the Big Six. I don't. But it is because of all of the love and accolades that it has received from the horror community. I don't understand how this franchise got so big when this was its first film. It is boring. It is a whodunit that has there is no point at which you can go, oh, that is who the killer is. It doesn't show you this person up until the point right before they're revealed. It's just kind of ridiculous. So it poses itself as a whodunit, but you don't get the pleasure of going, oh, I think I know who the killer is, and it being correct when it is revealed. You don't get that pleasure. So until you see the person, you go, oh, shit, is that the killer? And then immediately after, you're like, okay. But that's not fun to me in a whodunit. Come on, man. But when I say this movie is boring, what I mean by that is there's so little fucking dialogue in this movie. A lot of this movie is literally just these teenagers doing absolutely nothing. They're like walking around like making coffee and shit and being like, like just giggling and playing around and not really doing much of fucking anything. Like there's no substance to any of the teenagers. There's a little bit of substance to the locals, but they're kind of more interesting characters at times, but they're not, in the movie the whole time. And then the killer, Pamela Voorhees, is interesting when she's on screen, but that's the last part of the movie. So you just have, 60% of this movie where nothing is going on. 50% maybe, 50-60% of this movie where like there's just nothing going on. It's just like teenagers doing shit that's not interesting at all. And here's the thing. I don't think that the Friday the 13th movies are bad. I don't. I think that a lot of them are mediocre, but they're like way overhyped to the point at which it pisses me off. It makes me like hate the movies because of it, because of how much they get overhyped and how much people just like praise these films and love these films. I don't get it. I don't understand. The ones that I do like, half of people think are bad that are fans of the franchise. So like we don't see eye to eye on this. And some of the worst experiences I've had with any fandom has been with this fandom. So fuck this fandom. It is some of the most cancerous fandom that I've ever experienced. And I'm talking like almost League of Legends. I would say League of Legends is worse. That fandom is worse. But y'all are getting real close. Attacking children for not even their viewpoints. I got interviewed by an underage person, a child, and you attacked them because of what I said. Some of the worst fans in all of horror. Scream fans are getting up there as well as being one of the worst fandoms in horror. It's really ridiculous that we have to go through this kind of crap with people. And it's one of those things where, because of just multiple experiences and bad experiences and of mediocre bullshit that I'm watching, and I'm really, in all honesty and objectively, when I watch these movies, most of the Friday the 13th movies are just, they're all right. They're okay movies. They're not terrible, but they're not good. But the way that the community treats people and the way that the community acts about their movie, their franchise that they love, makes me hate these movies. I want y'all to think about that. And just remember this. I'm going to give Friday the 13th, when I'm doing this series, Friday the 13th will get a fair shake. I am not going to rank it lower simply because of how the community has made me feel about these movies. I am going to give these movies a fair shake. I do think that the first movie is one of the worst movies in the franchise. We will get to Friday the 13th movies that I do really enjoy. We will get there, and they will be ranked higher than some of these other franchises, but you can be guaranteed that this movie will be on the bottom of the tier list for the first initial videos for each of these franchises. Anyway, y'all have a good night, and I'll see you next time.